Hello, my name is Louisa, and before we begin tonight's story, I'd like to just introduce myself as the creator and the voice of Sleep Stories with Louisa. And if these stories are helping you to rest, and if you're enjoying them, then please feel free to follow the podcast on your listening app. It helps others to find their way here too, so we can share a little more calm and better sleep. And if you'd like to share our link, we'd be ever so grateful. So thank you once again for listening. And let's begin. Hello. Tonight's story takes place inside an old and traditional post office, one that opens only at night. And by the time the lamps are lit inside, the rest of the town has already gone quiet. Streets are empty and doors are closed. And the day has finished with its demands. Inside the post office, wooden counters stretch along the walls, their surfaces worn smooth by years of steady use. Canvas mail sacks rest on the floor, and rows of pigeonholes wait patiently, empty and ready. And at the beginning of the night shift, a single postmaster unlocks the door and steps inside. And he does not hurry and he does not pause. He moves through the building slowly, absorbed in familiar work, sorting letters and parcels as the hours pass. Nothing here asks for attention. Nothing carries urgency. And as the night deepens, the work gradually comes to an end. The final letters are placed, and the rooms settle, and the post office remains quietly complete, holding the night gently as sleep is allowed to arrive. Allow your eyes to remain closed or softly unfocused. There is nothing you need to look at now, but instead you can imagine a dim, quiet evening settling around you. Not a specific place, just the feeling of night arriving. The sky has darkened, and the edges of the world have softened. Shapes feel less defined and less important. And imagine a gentle, steady glow somewhere nearby. Not bright, not demanding, just enough light to let you know that everything is calm. And you are not moving through this scene. You are simply aware of it. The air feels still, comfortable, neither cool nor warm. And there is a sense of space around you, plenty of room, nothing closing in. And you may imagine yourself seated or standing or simply present. There is no right way to be here. In this quiet place, nothing is happening quickly, and nothing needs a response. Just imagine the world slowing its pace, as though time itself has decided to ease back. And if thoughts arise, they can remain part of the background, like distant lights seen through mist, present but not close. And your awareness can rest on the stillness of this scene, the steadiness, the lack of movement. Nothing changes unless it wants to. You might notice that the edges of the image are beginning to blur slightly, as if the night is gently dimming everything that does not matter. The glow remains soft, reliable, and you do not need to hold the picture clearly. It can drift, fade, return. Just allow that sense of quiet to deepen. The night holds the scene for you, but you do not need to stay alert within it. You do not need to remember it. And when the image softens further, that is fine. And when it disappears altogether, that is fine too. The story will continue whether you are following it or not. And when you are ready, the quiet night will open naturally into the place where the story begins. The midnight post office. And you arrive at an old post office just as the night has fully settled. The street around it is quiet now. Shops have long since closed. Windows are dark. The day has finished with its movement and noise, and the building stands solid and familiar, its shape unchanged by the passing hours. Stone and brick holding the calm of the night easily, one light glowing behind frosted glass. And it is not bright, and it does not spill outward. It simply lets you know that something inside is awake. And you arrive without hurry. There is no sense of being early or late. Only the feeling that this is the right moment. The air is still, unmoved by traffic or voices, carrying the quiet weight of the night. And as you stand there, the door opens and the postmaster begins his shift. He unlocks the door with steady hands, steps inside and closes it gently behind him. The sound is soft and contained. You follow quietly, becoming an observer inside the building. The door closes. The street remains outside, and the night continues on without interruption. And you arrive inside the post office, and in here the air is warm and still, holding a quiet steadiness that feels unchanged by time. Nothing echoes here. Nothing rushes. Wooden counters stretch along the room, their surfaces worn smooth by years of careful hands. The grain of the wood is visible in the soft light, gentle and familiar. Along the walls, rows of pigeonholes wait in neat order. Some are empty. Some hold envelopes already resting in place. Canvas mail sacks sit on the floor, open at the top and their sides folded back patiently. They do not lean or collapse. They simply remain. And the light comes from shaded lamps, casting a calm glow that softens edges and corners. There are no harsh shadows, nothing hidden. And the postmaster moves quietly through the space. He sets his coat aside, adjusts a ledger on the counter, and checks the room without urgency. And you remain present, unnoticed, observing without needing to move. And the building feels steady, contained, complete enough to hold the night safely. And nothing here asks anything of you. The post office is ready, and the work can begin. The postmaster remains at the sorting table. The letters are being arranged in small groups, spaced comfortably apart. Nothing crowded, nothing pressing in. He lifts one envelope, and it is light in his hands, thin, unremarkable. He turns it once, just enough to orient it, and places it down into its correct position. And there is a brief pause before the next movement. Not a break, just the natural space between actions. And another letter is lifted, another placed, and the rhythm is steady and predictable. Lift, place, pause. The sounds are soft and contained. Paper meeting wood, quiet brush of movement through still air. When a section of the table is finished, the postmaster simply steps away from it. His footsteps are slow and measured as he crosses the room. They do not echo. They are simply absorbed by the building easily. He stops at the wall of pigeonholes. One envelope is taken from the stack, slid into its space, and his hand withdraws. He moves along the wall gradually, never reaching and never stretching. Each movement small, each placement exact. And from there he turns towards the counter. And the counter is wide and familiar, its edges worn smooth by decades of routine. And here smaller parcels are lifted and set down, adjusted slightly, aligned. Nothing is hurried. And when the counter is finished, he moves into the back room. And the back room is quieter still. Parcels rest on low shelves and benches. He lifts one, carries it a short distance, and sets it down with care. Then another, and another, and another. And between each task, there is stillness. And the postmaster roams gently through the building, table to wall, wall to counter, counter to back room, following the same path again and again and again. The pattern repeats, reliable, unchanging, and you remain quietly present, observing as the night settles deeper around the work. And over time there is less to do. The sorting table begins to show more empty space between the letters. The wide surface looks calmer and less occupied. The postmaster's movements become more spaced, not because he slows himself, but because the work naturally allows it. A letter is placed, then nothing for a moment. A step is taken across the room, then another pause. Canvas mail sacks that were once open now rest folded and closed. Their tops lie flat and their sides no longer shifting. They lean quietly against the wall, finished for the night. At the sorting wall, most pigeonholes are now filled. and only a few remain open, and they wait without urgency. The postmaster reaches one, places a letter inside and moves on. And in the back room, shelves are orderly. Parcels sit where they belong, and no adjustments are needed. The air in the building feels heavier now. Not thick, just settled. The light remains soft and unchanged, but it seems gentler as the room grows quieter. And the postmaster pauses occasionally, standing still for a few breaths, not resting, simply just acknowledging what remains. A final letter on the table, a small stack at the counter. Each remaining task is completed fully before the next begins. And the post office feels balanced. Nothing pulling for attention and nothing left loose. And you remain unnoticed as the building eases towards stillness, work narrowing down to its final moments. And only the last tasks remain. The postmaster lifts the final letters from the table, one at a time. No change in rhythm. Each envelope is placed into its space. And when the table is empty, he does not linger. He smooths the surface once with his hand, and then steps away. He walks the length of the room slowly, along the sorting wall, past the counter, into the back room, and he checks each area without searching. Nothing is missing and nothing is out of place. A ledger is closed gently, its cover resting flat. A chair is drawn in until it sits neatly beneath the counter. One lamp is adjusted slightly lower, and the light softens further, but does not dim completely. The post office settles into stillness. No doors close and no signals are given. The work is simply finished. The building holds itself quietly now, complete and undisturbed, as though it will remain this way whether it is watched or not. And you do not need to stay with the rooms. They remain steady without you. The night continues outside, and inside everything rests. And sleep can come whenever it chooses. Nothing here requires your attention anymore.